Scaling up, putting systems in place, delegating tasks to professionals to free up my time. That was my intention from hiring a property management company from my rental house. It was an experiment that I tried this year and it was not successful for me. Hi everyone, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Rifaah. I'm a real estate investor specializing in house hacking in the Denver, Colorado area. In this video, I'll explain why I took back management from the property management company that I hired in March of 2023. 5 months, give or take, was the duration of this experiment. My hopes were high. I was looking forward to have my time back and focus on growing my business, great team of pros to help me manage my first house, a system in place that can't be scaled up without sacrificing too much of my time, pay someone else for my time, making it truly a passive investment. Unfortunately, it backfired. So why am I taking back management? I had to ask to terminate the contract as I was not content by how my rental house was managed in general. Now, to be completely fair, this particular management company that I hired is considered one of the best in Colorado, with a 4.9 star reviews on Google by both landlords and tenants alike. The main people in charge are very professional, have great systems in place, and they were very easy to work with. My reasons to take back management are not because this company is not a good management company. It was just simply not the right fit for me at this time of my investment journey. It came down to saving money and time. Yes, saving time. Turns out no one will take care of your property like you do. It's not like I didn't know this fact, but I wanted to employ a new system. This type of business, after all, have their own interests in mind, obviously, than the property managed. There were some particular issues that piled up over the months that made me decide to end this experiment. I was, during this entire time, in direct communication with the existing tenants to get their opinion about the company. My thought process was, if the tenants are happy, then the house will be taken care of and I'll be happy. However, there are 3 big reasons why I wanted to self-manage again. The first main reason for why I wanted to self-manage again is repetitive service requests. When I managed that rental, there were certain repetitive service requests that I was aware of and I was planning to resolve for good so they don't surface again, but I didn't get a chance to. Those issues typically can be avoided altogether if the tenants were informed properly. Even though I walked this rental house with the property manager at the beginning of April 2023, and they took notes of the kinks and the little things here and there, like for example, do not turn the water off the swamp cooler during the summer month because it will burn the water pump from working without water. The swamp cooler pump replacement was roughly $48 if I did it myself, but it can be completely avoided if the tenants were informed not to turn the water valve off. And there were other repetitive service requests as well, like oven, dishwasher, etc., that I would have handled differently. The second big reason is the tenant communication. When this company took over, they posted a letter on the main door of the house, a notice of management change. I immediately received a call from the tenants asking why we're being treated with disrespect, instead of placing the letter in the mailbox or just simply emailed, for example. I had to let them know that every company has their own way of communicating, and though I don't like this style myself, but that's just what this company does. That's their way. Personally, I like to treat my tenants the way that I like to be treated as a renter. I like my tenants to always be happy that they live where they live, and more than happy to pay rent and take care of the property as if it's their own. The third big reason for why I decided to take back self-management is the owner distribution timing. Every month, the rent is collected by the property management company on the 1st of the month and processed by subtracting the management fees, monthly expenses, and any maintenance service expenses occurred that month is also subtracted from the collected rent. The company then on the 15th of the month would send me the monthly statement and the collected rent after all the expenses subtracted. The rent deposit usually takes up to 2 days from the 15th to clear my account. So the rent deposit is typically deposited into my bank account on the 16th or the 17th of the month. Now, I usually pay my mortgage on the 5th of every month, so I had to adjust my finances accordingly. However, every month since April, the owner distribution has been lower than the month before until August of 2023, until the basement of that rental was flooded on a weekend due to a leaking old water heater. The property management company handled that well, but only after I got a call from my tenants freaking out and asking me where the main water shutoff valve is to stop the flooding. The tenants at the time said that they are on hold with the property management company, so I walked them through where to go to shut the main water off to stop the flooding, and I called the manager directly to address the issue right after. That incident in general was very expensive. I basically received a collected rent that is less than a quarter of the mortgage I have to pay. If this situation happened under my management, I would have struggled to find a water extraction company on a weekend. But I also would have paid for these expenses from my emergency reserves and or on the company's credit card, and not from the collected rent directly. So for me personally, that was a disadvantage as well. I learned a lot from this experiment, and don't get me wrong, I don't think that property management companies are all bad. In fact, they can be a lifesaver sometimes. It certainly was during a flooded basement on a weekend for me. Here are my lessons learned from this experiment. Rental property management companies are not going to save you money, but they will save you time. If you have a good relationship with your current tenants and you transition to a property management company, they can be a good asset for you or take more of your time. It all depends on how you structure your communication with them and what expectations you define. Third lesson I learned is property management companies will help you put tenants in place at a cost, of course, but they might not be the right tenants for you or for the property. At the end of the day, it is a business like any other corporation, and what matters is the bottom line. In general, if you pick your tenants yourself, you have more assurance that your investment is taken care of. The fourth lesson I learned is that you can learn a lot from a property manager. They've seen it all, so they have systems in place for a reason. I got to learn from the leases they write and the way they handle services, communications, and overall to see a different style of managing to learn from and get better. In conclusion, I don't believe I'm at a stage right now to hire a property manager. I would rather manage it myself, have more control over my expenses and income, and I'll know I'll be taking care of my property better than anyone else can. I see the value though of handing over management for an apartment complex or a multifamily building or a property that is over 90-minute drive from where I live. But for houses and duplexes that are near me, I think as a private landlord, I'm better off managing it myself. I appreciate you all sticking around and hearing me vent. I hope you guys learned something new. I certainly have. Thank you for watching. On the next video, I'll update you on the process of taking back management. So please like and subscribe if you want to see more of me rambling about real estate. And I'll see you friends on the next video. Ciao.